I got a new like face trimmer clipper thing from Target and I tested it out. Just immediately cut my neck. God damn it.
I still use I have the Philips Norelco from Costco from like 8 years ago, and it has like a beard trimmer thing.
Just immediate cutting of skin.
Like it's not great for grooming, but it is good for just like, I don't know. It's not great. But I've never nicked myself, so like I like Philips Norelco. Shout out, not a sponsor.
Yeah, I bought a cheap one on Target. That was a mistake. At Target.
I would say so. Like they have Dollar Shave Club at Target now. But
it had good reviews.
Weird. What brand was it?
I don't remember. Some BS. I think it might be a Philips Norelco, honestly.
Probably.
I got some other shaving thing though from some online company.
I mean, I've never paid $20 for an electric razor.
This electric razor was $37.
It was an electric trimmer. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if I wouldn't spend less than, I would say I made a mistake. 90. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. Hopefully I don't bleed out of my jugular during this.
I just look back over. I'm like, Andrew.
Anyway.
Well, this one's definitely going to get extended.
Oh, yeah. That's what she said. Hey-o.
Oh.
Zing.
Yeah.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there's Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Bluesky at namely90s. You can also find us on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/namely90s and get signed up. Speaking of YouTube, we hit 100 subscribers. Congratulations, us.
Yeah. Congratulations, us. Although I have to say our channel health has not been great since the start of the year, so I don't know how we're getting subscribers. Although I think it's our best platform currently, which is
saying
also a thing.
Something.
Yeah. We get more weekly views on YouTube than we do downloads of our
We have as many as dozens of downloads.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And, you know, to be fair, I've kind of been lazy with the social medias lately, but
happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Like
we have been doing this for nearly 4 years.
Right. Like our watch time is we're up to like 2,000 views in a month. With a watch time of 23 hours. So,
all right.
A lot of that's Namely 90s minute, but
each person watches for 0.07 seconds.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Average view duration on a Namely 90s minute is under a minute. So, but that's over like 400 some views, like an average 100 views. You would think seeing our faces over the heads of the things would make them realize, oh, this isn't something
that's good.
We're over 100 Namely 90s minutes too at this point.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that's a thing that's happening.
Speaking of things that aren't good, I watched all of X-Men the animated series recently. I don't know
the series wasn't good, or that just doesn't say good things about you as a person.
The former. It's just, I mean, it starts out strong because like they went hard to try to adapt like X-Men, which I don't know if you're familiar with the X-Men that much, but like the concepts in the comics it's like an allegory for race relations and like LGBTQ community and that sort of stuff. Because while in the show they're very on the nose with the like Jubilee's like, why do you hate me? I was born this way. And then there's just like this white right-winger that's like, exactly. It's because you were born. Just like, okay, very on the nose, but wow.
Man, this show's too woke.
It is. Like, if it was released now, people would be like, this show is too woke. And they did release the follow-up series on Disney Plus recently. It's on the 3rd episode. So by the time this comes out, it's still only been 2 weeks since it started back up. But they had them storm the Capitol building in the 2nd episode. And I'm just like, wow, they're back to being on very, very like on the nose.
And then after they did that, basically nothing happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds about right.
Yep. Next episode, they adapted the whole Madeline Pryor clone bullshit in a single episode. So that was impressive.
Better than Dolly the sheep, I guess.
Yeah. Marvel did a lot of things with clones in the 80s and 90s that people didn't like and kind of dumb. Anyway.
Yeah, I think the prospect of cloning in any way that like mimics what is done in science fiction is just like not really actually going to be a thing, you know?
I mean, yeah. Because we don't know how to transfer what people would refer to as a conscience or a conscious.
Because that's what we need in America is a shallower gene pool. Right? True.
Yeah. In the next 100 years, everyone will be half Trump. or at least like an eighth. Yeah. But the new series isn't that bad. It's definitely corrected over like season 5 was the worst because they finished it in season 4 and then they're like, oh, let's order like 10 more episodes. And then, but the usual animation company that we have has already moved on to another project. So let's just use our shitty in-house animation firm. And it was rough. It was rough. Yeah, but that's a thing. And apparently it's like the most watched animated series on Disney Plus right now, which is dumb because there's way better animated content on there.
Oh, this does remind me. I don't know why. Just I think streaming or whatever. I finally watched Ocean's 8.
Right.
And I swear to God, for the life of me, I thought Queen Latifah was in that movie. She's
Why?
not.
Yeah.
She is not in that movie.
You texted me and I'm like, I haven't even seen Ocean's 13.
It's pretty good. There's who's in Al Pacino's in that?
Is he the one that takes on well, that's weird because the guy that plays the casino owner in the movies Anthony Padilla. No. La
Close.
Fontaine.
Anthony
Palmero.
It's not Anthony, it's Terry Benedict played by
Terry Benedict, Godfather Part 3.
Godfather.
Yeah.
He was
Andy Garcia.
Yes, thank you, Andy Garcia.
Yeah. So Andy Garcia played the illegitimate child of the oldest Corleone son, who is the nephew of Al Pacino in The Godfather Part 3.
But Al Pacino is the antagonist in Ocean's 13. Anyway, they're talking about doing an Ocean's 14, rumored to be happening with some of the original folks. So that's kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, did not have Queen Latifah. My take on the movie is it was pretty entertaining. It seemed like they told the director, do your best impression of Steven Soderbergh. And then I realized that Steven Soderbergh was a producer on the movie. So that's probably exactly what happened.
So did you confuse Rihanna for Queen Latifah? Like I was looking at the cast.
Maybe.
Like I know you don't like Helena Bonham Carter.
Well, because she always plays the same character. This was a bit different, which is fun.
Mindy Kaling could be confused for Queen Latifah, I guess.
I don't know why. Maybe I was conflating the whole Equalizer thing with
Wasn't
this.
Okay, that's fair. Or wasn't Mindy Kaling in a movie with Queen Latifah, like
I don't know,
Taxi or something?
But yeah, like if you showed
Elliot Gould was in it?
Aliens, if you showed Aliens the Ocean's series, or just if you showed Aliens like 6 different Steven Soderbergh movies and told them to like make a movie that was like that, you'd have Ocean's 8. You know what I mean? It was like, other than that, I mean, it was fine.
Clooney makes an appearance?
No.
Oh, it says the Google says he's in it. And it also says Elliot Gould's in it.
Elliot Gould's in it. And the little Chinese guy who climbs around is in it. Apparently Damian Lewis was supposed to play the sort of villain, but then they recast him.
Fanning.
At the end. Dakota Fanning was briefly in it, some sort of like cameo. But
is James Corden the bad guy?
No, he's like an investigator toward the end.
Is Katie Holmes the bad guy?
No, it's like this kind of chody, like white dude that Sandra Bullock used to date or something.
I could not pick out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Also a question. Awkwafina was in this, and this was before she mellowed out. So how I feel like she's a comedian that you didn't
recognize half the people in this movie, but I was just like, that's her problem.
Yes, Awkwafina looks like the token Asian in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. You thought she was fine?
Yeah. The movie was clever. The ending paid off a bit. It was a good watch. Despite all the mean things I'm saying about it, it was still a decent watch.
Oh, there's another Asian woman, Midori Francis as April.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. No. What?
Awkwafina's Constance. There's a woman named Midori Francis played a character called April.
April?
She might not have been a part of the main cast.
What was the name of the person?
The character was called April.
April. No idea who that is. Okay.
Rihanna played 9-ball.
Yeah, that was dumb. Her mouse was like, you know those mice that has like the trackball?
She was the hacker.
She was the hacker, and she had like one of those mice with the trackball, but the trackball was a 9-ball from pool.
Okay.
Billiards.
Oh. So it was green?
No, it was yellow.
Yellow. Dang it. I don't remember my billiard ball colors.
Well, this is a really, really topical conversation. I also just wanted to point out that they were talking about doing a 14. That was my main point.
Well, to be fair, that really moves into our discussion topic for the week, because this is topical and it is about criminal acts. Puff Daddy had like his places searched on last week on like Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So two months ago, though, did you hear this thing about Katt Williams being on Club Shay Shay?
You just said a bunch of words that meant nothing.
Shannon Sharp's podcast is called Club Shay Shay.
Oh, the guy from the like annoying ESPN show where they just yell at each other.
Yeah. And then Katt Williams is a 90s and 2000s. I think he's technically still a current comedian, but you would recognize him as, I think they called him Jizzle the Pimp from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Excellent.
But you know who Katt Williams is, right? He talks really, yeah. He has a very, very distinct diction. Is that not diction? What's the word I'm looking for?
Syntax,
I guess, applies. Yeah, accent's not the right word. It's how he talks.
Sure.
But yeah, so but he kind of predicted, like he spilled the tea on a lot of black comedians and kind of like 90s rappers, including Puff Daddy. or P. Diddy or Sean Combs,
Speaking
or
of
whatever
that,
you want to call him for the duration of this.
I think I just figured the name out. I never knew what the name was for, but I'm imagining it has to do with him smoking a lot of marijuana.
Yeah, I believe so. That may be the etymology.
I like how it took me until 35 years of age to figure this out.
Papa Diddy Pop. Well, I just
marijuana.
It was, I think it was the Bad Boys for Life music video, where like there's just this interstitial where Ben Stiller knocks on their door and the music cuts out and he's just like, "Hey, I just moved in down the block," or Puffy just moved in and he was just like, "Hey, Papa Diddy Pop, Papa Smurf, Papa John's Pizza." It was bad, but that's always stuck in my head whenever I try to remember what Sean Puffy Combs is calling himself.
I feel like they're doing a Bad Boys 3 in which Will Smith just slaps all of the adversaries.
They did do a Bad Boys 3 already.
4. Sorry, I meant to say 4.
Okay.
But again, he doesn't even have a gun in this one. He just slaps all the drug dealers.
Yeah. He just Okay. Yep. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But yeah, so I forgot to include the news article for Puffy, but basically his house in Florida, I think multiple homes were raided as a part of a sex trafficking investigation earlier last week. And a lot of stuff is just like resurfacing and putting stuff in context right now. But I wanted to focus on Katt Williams because he said a lot of stuff.
All right.
And a lot of it's kind of, again, this is all alleged.
And specifically, it's a quote of another individual. So therefore, you can say it without any concern.
Right. So yeah, when he was on Club Shay Shay, he basically said he had to turn down $50 million 4 times throughout his career just to protect his integrity and that quote, that virgin hole I was telling you about, right? Because P. Diddy be wanting to party and you got to tell him no.
I don't really know what he's actually trying to imply there.
He's trying to imply that P. Diddy likes to stick his penis in other men's buttholes.
Yeah, I think that's, a distinct possibility.
Yeah. P. Diddy also had, he was sued by 4 women for allegations of sexual assault. Sorry, trigger warning. Doesn't work if I say it afterwards, but
no, it sure doesn't. Sure doesn't.
It's going to get weird. You could skip to after the Namely 90s minute if you don't want to listen to the rest of this. And then he said, "You got to tell him no." I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely. Yeah. And then he just goes on to say he has a virgin asshole and he has never sucked a penis. Katt Williams.
Well, hey, more power to you.
Yeah. Over 2 hours of this, by the way.
This seems like, I feel like there's some comedic license taking place here too, right? The guy's a comedian.
No, yeah, he's a comedian, but it was one of those like podcasts where you like sit down, you have an open talk with whoever the host is, and that's what Club Shay Shay is. Yeah. So I collected some other things that Katt Williams predicted.
Okay, sure.
In the Club Shay Shay interview, and for some reason he was also recently on Joe Rogan.
I don't think he predicted this. I think he just experienced specific things pertaining to it. But. And
a lot of these aren't actual predictions; they're more just like tea that he spilled. So
okay.
Let's start with Tupac is alive on an island in the Caribbean.
Okay, sure.
How do you feel about that one? Is let's just say
it's pronounced Caribbean.
Fair.
No, I always thought it'd be funny to be the person who says, "Oh yeah, do you want to watch Pirates of the Caribbean?" Because that's clearly not the right way to say the name of that movie.
It's Pirates of the Caribbeaner.
Yeah.
Nope, gonna take that one back.
Nope. Yeah.
Along with another Elvis, Elvis is alive, Michael Jackson's alive. Fat Joe is Biggie Smalls after he got vitiligo, the disease that Michael Jackson had that reduced the pigment in his skin. And they fake assassinated him to save hip hop in the 90s and get him away from Puffy.
To get him away from reflective hallways and wind machines.
Yes. Because they're bad boys. Yeah. I forgot we had that wind machine joke. That was pretty good. Going further, he said the ancient Egyptian pyramids were landing pads for alien spacecraft.
Well, what was the bottom of the spaceship shaped like? An inverse of a pyramid?
Exactly. It's how you land.
It's like a docking station.
There's no landing gear. They land on the mounds. Willow Smith was born in a test tube to not inherit her mother's alopecia. Oh
boy, Will Smith's coming out of the woodwork to slap you.
Get my daughter's name out of your damn mouth. And then he got weird. Keenan and Kel swapped their names before all that and started stealing each other's future successes and failures. Keenan Thompson should be Kel Mitchell.
I don't think Kel Mitchell has the talent for that. Or vice. Yeah.
Oh, or do you mean
he didn't really go on to have a career?
Kel Mitchell is currently living Keenan's life.
He didn't really have much of a career in real life, though, did he?
I mean, he came back. I mean, he was in Dan Schneider's the hip hop one.
How do you say basement? Okay. There it is. Oh, boy.
Travis Kelce has a secret magical black friend who has blessed his life to get him where he is. I believe that's a reference to the magical black man trope in films in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Legend of Bagger Vance comes to mind.
Also Will Smith, right?
Yes. Also Will Smith. Driving Miss Daisy, I think. Does that count as the magical best black friend trope? I don't know. And finally, we have Mel Gibson is the second coming of Black Jesus.
Well, yeah. What? By the way, someone said Mel Gibson was Australian.
Yes.
Mel Gibson was born in America and lived in Australia, but is an American actor.
Oh, really? I thought he was born in Australia.
No.
I did not know that because he became a star in Australia before.
But he ain't black and he ain't Jesus. That's for sure.
Huh. Yeah. So how do you feel about these things?
When it said things he predicted, I thought it was going to be like that cool thing where like The Simpsons has predicted stuff. But they actually did. This is all just complete nonsense.
I mean, we still have time. We still have time to prove.
There was no COVID mentioned in any of this, though. That's cool.
There's some other things that he said. There's a lot of worse things that he said, and especially on Joe Rogan. The Joe Rogan clip is insane. If you watched any of the Club Shay Shay, I watched at least a quarter of it. The things that he went on Joe Rogan and said are insane. Like, they completely devalue anything that he said on Club Shay Shay because it was just like, all right, that dude is insane.
Speaking of people who have become outrageous Republicans, you should go on drdrew.com. It looks like Fox News.
Oh, no.
It's so bad. Drew, come on.
Oh, Drew, Dr. Drew, come on.
Jeez.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for this discussion segment?
What is the value of even listening to something like this?
Entertainment.
Yeah, but there's a point where entertainment becomes irresponsible, right?
So, like the entirety of Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's come a long way from making people eat pig anuses on TV for money. And now let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Naming 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the final season of Star Trek Discovery airing, we are looking back at Star Trek's last movie of the 90s, Star Trek Insurrection. Star Trek Insurrection is a 1998 science fiction film directed by Commander Riker, starring John Bosley from 2019's Charlie's Angels as Captain Picard, the host of Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction as the director. Yes, I'm aware I kept saying Ripley's Believe It or Not in previous ones. The voice of Conan O'Brien from South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut as Lieutenant Commander Data, Rick from Ted 2 as Lieutenant Commander Worf, Jack Ryan's wife in The Hunt for Red October as Dr. Crusher, Alondra LaForge's dad in Star Trek Picard as Lieutenant Commander LaForge, and Shireen from Crash as Counselor Troy. The story starts with Data observing what appears to be a pre-warp civilization when he hits his head and goes rogue, so the Enterprise crew has to come and save him by singing the near entirety of HMS Pinafore. The obviously evil admiral orders them away, but Captain Picard pulls a Kirk and disobeys and investigates what's going on the planet. They discover that this pre-warp civilization is actually a post-warp civilization that has given up technology and spacefaring for a simple agrarian life. During the investigation, the crew starts to notice they're growing more youthful, Picard is rebellious, Geordi can see, Worf gets face herpes, Klingon acne, and Riker's libido is the same, but he also shaves and hooks up with Deanna. Picard and Data find a hidden Federation ship with a hollow recreation of the alien village and determine the evil admiral and the creepy aliens he's working with are going to remove the nice aliens from the planet so the evil aliens can claim it and mass produce the youth regeneration particle, which violates the Prime Directive. Picard helps his new alien girlfriend and her village escape from the abduction while Riker takes the E to communications range to tell Starfleet what's going on. Dr. Crusher, who yet again got sidelined by Picard for another woman in these films, figures out the good aliens and the bad aliens are the same species, just the bad ones left to go enjoy technology and are now sad they're not immortal. The evil admiral gets killed by the evil alien leader because the former has slightly more principles. Picard then blows up the Harvester ship and is rescued by the Big E, leaving the bad guy alien leader to die. Classic Kirk. In the end, the other bad aliens are allowed to rejoin their parents on the immortality planet that is never seen or used again in this Trek timeline. And that's Star Trek Insurrection in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less.
And now back to the show.
All right. I did talk about X-Men earlier. So I did just finish rewatching X-Men the animated series and started X-Men 97. So I jotted down all the random mutants I wasn't familiar with during my watch through. And I decided we should see who would win in a fight based off of someone who doesn't know anything about mutants. Andrew, you don't know anything about mutants, do you? Or X-Men? You don't know anything about X-Mans?
Not particularly.
Did you watch any of the movies,
No.
TV series, read a comic book once?
Patrick Stewart is Professor Xavier.
That's true. That is a true statement.
Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. A lot
That's
of
it.
Like the first X-Men movie was based off of like the first 3 episodes of X-Men the animated series. Yeah.
That's it. I know nobody.
Well then, good, because I jotted down 8 lesser known X-Men that I saw during this, and I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of their powers. And then you get to decide who beats who, and we're doing this bracket style. This is a 8-seed bracket, first matchup is Quicksilver Bolt, who is a speedster mutant with the ability to generate lightning bolts as he runs, making him a formidable force in battle, versus number 8 seed Solar Flare, a mutant with the power to absorb and emit solar energy, allowing her to unleash blinding flashes of light and intense heat blasts in combat.
Is this the top left one?
Yes. It should have just popped up as your first click.
Uh-oh.
Hit refresh.
Do I need to go into present? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did it wrong. I was like, what does this pop up? And I closed it.
Yeah.
Well, the guy on the left appears to looks like Ted Danson a little bit.
He does look like Ted Danson.
In a baby blue, very tight-fitting leotard.
Yep.
And
lightning bolts.
Very pronounced eyebrows.
Yeah.
And the other one looks like a lady with big finger hands and fire coming out of them, and like a cool reading rainbow eye visor thing.
That's her blinding flashes of lights and intense heat blasts and in combat.
I mean, no villain or person in general, not even villain, no person has ever looked less threatening than the one on the left. So I'm going to go with the one on the right, Solar Flare.
Okay, so your upset is Solar Flare. All right.
It's an upset? Okay.
Well, the number 8 seed just beat the number 1 seed.
Fair enough.
Next up, we have Shadow Cat Ninja, a mutant with the power to phase through solid objects combined with expert ninja training, making her a stealthy and agile warrior. Versus number 5 seed, Sonic Scream, a mutant with the ability to emit powerful sonic screams capable of shattering objects and incapacitating foes.
He just had really bad breath.
Or is he sucking it in? Who knows?
I want to go Shadow Cat for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
One is like some Christian camp that Kayla was like peripherally not involved with, but like knew of, had like a group of kids that were calling themselves the Shadow Cats, and they were making other kids drink pee.
So you want to support that?
No, I mean, like, okay, so the guy can yell real loud, break glass, or like briefly incapacitate you. Like, oh, that was an inconvenience. And then you just like continue.
I mean, you added the word briefly, but yes.
If your name is Sonic Scream and your scream is your biggest weapon, why are you hella jacked? I mean,
these are the questions.
I'm taking the Shadow
Cat Ninja. Okay.
But now it wants me to vote between those two.
Oh, oops. So I guess we can X out and click on the top.
Okay.
Or I mean,
I'm
whatever.
clicking on the top. Oh no!
Oops! Oh no!
Shoot!
It's doing the same thing.
Well, I can change my decision later.
Let's just reset real quick. There's a reset button at the bottom of the...
Well, I can just choose them without looking at them side by side.
Fair. That's a good point.
So what's my next one?
So the top right bracket is the 2 seed versus the 7th seed. We have Psych Blade or Psyche Blade. I never knew how to pronounce that as a kid. A telekinetic mutant who wields psionic blades, able to slice through almost anything with her mind. Followed by number 7, Biohazard, a mutant with toxic and corrosive abilities, able to emit noxious gases and acidic substances from his body to dissolve obstacles and foes.
I can do all those things. The person who can slice you with their goddamn mind is my choice.
Okay. So that's number 2 seed, Psyche Blade. Am I pronouncing that wrong? Like,
emits noxious gases from his body.
It does say Psyche.
Psych Blade.
But there's an E.
Psychoblade.
Wouldn't that not be Psyche?
Or Psychoblade.
Psych. And then finally, we have the 3 seed versus the 6 seed, Blaze Master, a pyrokinetic mutant who can control and manipulate fire at will.
He looks like he's an NSYNC.
Capable, it was the 90s. Capable of creating intense infernos or fiery projectiles. Or we have the 6th seed, Dreamweaver, a mutant with the ability to enter and manipulate dreams, using her powers to influence and control others' subconscious minds.
A bunch of hokey crap. I'll choose the first guy.
You don't like her brain beam there?
No.
Okay. Where should we go? Should we do the 8 seed versus the 4 seed? That would be Solar Flare, who is the upset. What are they call Cinderella story so far?
Yeah.
That's our mutant with the power to absorb and emit solar energy, allowing her to unleash blinding flashes of light and intense heat blasts in combat. Versus number 4 seed, Shadow Cat Ninja, who can phase through solid objects with expert ninja training.
So you've got someone who can defy the laws of physics, and someone who can take one of the most, take the power of a star and foist it upon their opponents.
Yep. In those really technicolor flashes there.
But so like the ability to phase through objects.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I feel, how does that help you actually defeat an enemy? I think that's more of a defensive tactic.
Yeah, assassin. I think she was in the episode about like an assassin or something. You could see her kind of
But like you can't even touch the sun, you know,
like,
how would you?
Oh my God, Professor X found me in the
I'm going with solar. I gotta go solar flare on this one.
Solar flare. All right. Solar flare, the Cinderella stories made it to the finals. And then on the other side we have that is Psyche Blade versus the other, what was it?
Fire dude.
Blaze Master. See, I don't even know who these people are. A pyrokinetic mutant who can control and manipulate fire at will. He creates fire and fiery projectiles versus she has the blades.
But
the hand blades.
But with her mind.
Yes, mind blades.
We're going girl power.
She can slice through almost anything.
It's mind blades.
Okay, mind. So we come to the finals now. We have Solar Flare number 8 and Psyche Blade number 2. Tell us your reasoning. How are they battling it out? Who wins?
Well, you've got the Solar Flare person. I think that the downside to that is that they absorb the energy of the sun,
but not psychic powers.
Well, but not only that, but like, how long does it take them to absorb it? So like, if she takes a shot and she misses or whatever, like how long does it take her to regenerate by absorbing power from the sun? Like,
true.
Is she like a?
Because can't you just pull it and then?
Yeah. Is it quick? Is it slow?
Are you asking me to tell you or?
No, I'm just kind of like
conjecturing.
Let's see. The Psyche Blade kind of looks like. Why does her face look like Taylor Swift? Kind of.
I always thought Olivia Munn for some reason.
I don't have my glasses on. Oh man, how do you? Because then they can just cut you with your mind. I don't know how you can really defend against mind blades. You know. So for me, it's going
to. It slices through literally everything.
It's going to be Psyche Blade for me.
All right, Andrew's pushed the number 2 seed Psyche Blade all the way to the winner of this bracket. So I'm going to pull up a clip of Psyche Blade and let Andrew bask in the winning. Let me just grab the screen share real quick. And let's see. Let's share sound. Are you ready for this?
Oh yeah.
This video of Psyche Blade.
Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Rickroll. This is a good video. Doesn't get enough credit.
It's such a good video. Okay, that's over limit. So what I did, Andrew, April Fools.
I've been trolled.
Let me just explain. This entire episode has been our April Fool's episode because you know what today is?
It must be April 1st.
It is April 1st.
In fact, it is March 27th, which is why I was caught off guard. So all this Katt Williams stuff was not real?
The things that I said Katt Williams said are not real, but he was on Club Shay Shay and Joe Rogan. And the only thing that is close to something that he said that is true is the ancient aliens and about.
But there is no question that, or no surprise that P. Diddy ended up being a creep.
Oh, yeah. No, that's all factual. Katt Williams did say that the aliens built the Egyptian pyramids on Joe Rogan. But everything else I said was a lie. And all of these X-Men, I had ChatGPT generate for me earlier today.
Amazing.
And the photos I used, let's just go for our non-YouTube viewers. We have Quicksilver Bolt was actually just Quicksilver. Solar Flare was Jubilee. Blaze Master was Torch. Shadowcat Ninja was Kitty Pryde from the.
Wait, so where did these Christian kids get the Shadowcat thing from?
Well, Kitty Pryde is named Shadowcat in X-Men, but Shadowcat Ninja is not. is not an X-Men. Shadow Cat is. Kitty Pryde is. But this was actually a photo from the failed pilot for the X-Men animated series. Let's see, who's she up against? That is Sonic Scream is actually just Banshee. Psych Blade is Psylocke, played by Olivia Munn in the movies. Biohazard, I forget who that is, but he's one of the Apocalypse 4 Horsemen. And then finally, Dreamweaver is Jean Grey, who is the original X-Men. I know that's a woman, but still,
she has a beam on her head.
She does
like a headlamp.
Psychic powers. That's how they drew psychic powers back in Fox Marvel Animated. So congratulations, Andrew, on our first April Fool's episode. I actually did like your justifications for these mutants, and their powers aren't too far off from what we said. But that's it for this week's edition. Name it. Or actually, how do you feel after being bamboozled?
What's the guy in the baby blue bodysuit? What is that?
That's Quicksilver. That's his terrible costume from the 90s. I
feel like there's a lot of bulge involved. I just can't see it from this angle.
I mean, you can see the bulge.
The thing about animating things is like you have to animate the bulge.
I mean, not as much in 90s cartoons. They're more about the boobs, but that is what Quicksilver looked like before he became cool in the Fox movies.
He does look like Ted Danson though.
Yeah, so he's actually the son of Magneto, and Magneto looks exactly like that too, except older. And those are just words to you. But that's it for this week's edition of the 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Instagram, Bluesky, and YouTube at Namely90s with a 90s, and tell us what you thought about today's episode. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, Namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, April Fools, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
Next time. Bastard.